Hello everyone, welcome back to One United. Welcome back to One United. This is our daily transfer news. I'm just daily news again, and we'll talk about everything Manchester United, especially including transfers. Today it's all about mostly about Reguilon. Is it a done deal? Well, that is what most Spanish outlet has been reporting. But before I continue, please like the video. Of course, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell button to get notified of our latest content. We'll always bring you the latest and the most interesting Manchester United news and stories. On Reguilon, let's start. Well, multiple Spanish outlets, I have to say reliable Spanish outlet, have come out to say that this Reguilon deal is going to be complete very soon. It all started when Fabrizio Romano earlier of the day said that United are very interested and working very hard in closing the deal with Reguilon, and he will submit the bid soon, and they will submit bid very soon. And then the multiple Spanish outlet like Cadena, Marca, even Felix Diaz, these are all very credible tier 1 sources, outlet for Spanish football, especially Real Madrid, has come out and said and back up the story from Fabrizio, saying the same thing. This deal almost done. This deal is moving to an advanced stage, and even there's reports now, but this is not yet an official, say that some bid has been submitted. Around 20 million, but with no buyback clause. 20 million euros, have said, but with no buyback clause. Even Fabrizio Romano, in his interview with United People's TV, have mentioned the same figure. So I think this deal is moving towards the right direction, and let's see whether it will be done very soon. Because if it does, I think by earlier today, in like maybe 10 hours, we will have an official, maybe not official confirmation, but at least mainstream media will pick this up. Tier 1 source like Fabrizio Romano will pick this up. We'll talk about this even more. But it looks like direction shows that all the reports, credible reports, shows that this deal might be very close in completing. And we can even say now maybe it's a done deal, unless there's an unexpected turn of event at the very last minute. This pretty much looks like a done deal. So that's good news for Manchester United. It might be most likely will be the second signing of the season, and will be completed at this rate. I think it will be completed before our game against Palace, and he might be available. He might be even registered for the game against Palace. So that's good news for Manchester United fans. I know we are being a bit dread or gloomy and doomy these past 3 or 4 days, but seems like we might have some good news very soon. But moving on to the main topic that has been grabbing the headlines for this transfer window for United, Jadon Sancho. I'm not going to talk too much on Jadon Sancho because there's not too much credible updates, but I will say, like I updated in my blog, I'm doing a Sancho watch whether he's going to play in a DFB Pokal game today, earlier today. In fact, he did play that game, he did start, and he did score. So that's a bummer, right? That's a bummer. But like I said, this doesn't mean too much. He can still come to United. Like I said, I'm still confident he will come. But if there's no credible news, no tier 1 source talking about this in a more advanced stage by tomorrow, then my confidence from 100% will drop to 20%. Right? So we'll see what happens by the end of tomorrow. It's what happens there. I will update you guys again. But Sebastian Hell, the sporting director of Dortmund, already came out and said that in his press conference, said that Sancho will play in Dortmund next season. But he added, you must take note that he added, otherwise, of course, we are matching the market. We are watching the market, but we are very well positioned. So there's a bit of a disclaimer there, or caveat there. Sancho will stay, but otherwise, means if he goes, we are watching the market. So kind of like cryptic message there from Sebastian. Like I said, we have to see. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow before I make any more judgment or any more predictions on this. As of now, I said that we may come. Again, a lot of talks, a lot of negative press coverage on this, saying that still the fee or the structure of the fee is still the problem here between United and Dortmund. whereby now there's even report that Dortmund wanted full $108 million, 100 million pound upfront, full the cash lump sum instead of accepting installments. So that's a new thing. So that's very interesting, because I think all this while the consensus say that Dortmund are willing to accept installment as long as they get the full 108 million pound. Like I said, we just need to see. And there's also stories coming back say that this is a very interesting one, and a very weird one, I would say. Make me quite pissed off now, saying that in an interview again, Fabrizio Romano in United People TV, he said that actually an agreement, a verbal agreement, has been done between United and Dortmund since July, right? And Dortmund is expecting a bid from United. However, bid was never submitted. There was no bid submitted, no official bid submitted by United. Hence, Dortmund was irritated. Dortmund was frustrated. So that's why they put the 10 August deadline, if you can remember that. And they're talking back about the 10 August deadline, whereas we thought that there's just a fabricated deadline and that that's not an issue there. But since that point has been brought up again, not much to say. Not much prediction or thoughts I can give you at this moment with regards to Sancho. It's just that one thing for sure is that United has not yet pulled out from this deal. They are still very much in this deal, and we all know personal terms, anything else is very much done. And Sancho did want to come, but again, has to be reiterated that Fabrizio said that he will not agitate it, or he will not force a move here, right? So again, I'm just going to wait tomorrow before I pass any more judgment on this, right? Regarding Sancho as well, apparently Gareth Bale has go up in the pecking order in terms of alternative for Sancho. And Delman stated that United are seriously looking into a loan deal with Real to get Gareth Bale to come to United. As we all know, Real Madrid is willing to pay half of Gareth's wages. Not sure if this is true, but if you ask me, if looking at football sense and business sense, if we do really cannot get a deal done with Dortmund, or get an agreement on the fee of Dortmund, bringing in Bale might seem sensible, in terms of business sense, in terms of footballing sense, since we don't get Sancho. Oh, by the way, ESPN reports that even though we didn't get Sancho this window, we might still go for him next year. So he will still be our target, but I'm not sure how easy it is. I'm not sure how I say this. Because next year I think most club will have the financial sort out and might have some money back, so it might be more difficult to get him next year instead of this year. So for me, it doesn't make too much sense. I think United themselves is aware that if they were to go for Sancho next year, even the price would not drop. The price would not drop. In fact, if anything, since other clubs who might come in for him, there might be a bidding war. His price might goes up. So it doesn't make any sense in that news. Back to Bale. So United are seriously considering, according to that press report. And like I said, if we really didn't get Sancho, Bale might be a good option. I don't fancy that, but in terms of if you look at overall, if I put my if I'm not being biased, it can be a an okay and alright alternative. I'm not gonna say it's good or it's great, but it's an alright. Than having nothing, if the price is right, if the economy is right. So that's on Sancho. Not too much to talk about, not too much of a good news to share with you guys. And on Thiago, not too much change. Mark Oden from ESPN said United can pay the 30 million. We all know that before, but they don't want to meet that 200k plus wages demand from Thiago. If Thiago doesn't lower down his wages demand, United will not go in for him. Again, this is an opportunistic signing. I do see that United don't want to pay over the odds for Thiago, because like I said, this is not priority signing, it's an opportunistic signing. United willing to pay that 30 million for the fee, but not too much on the wages. I'm not sure how much exactly that Thiago wanted. I would assume he might ask a bit more, from his existing wages, which is around 205,000 per week at Bayern. So I would assume he would ask a bit more. So maybe United might accept if he maintains his current wages, So that's what I'm predicting. But we have to see what happens. But I think mostly at this time, United might focus on getting Reguilon over the line since this is very close. And then maybe focus on Sancho. Maybe if Liverpool doesn't beat, this Sancho and Thiago deal might go until the end of the season. Might go until the last day of the transfer. Sorry, not the season. Until the last day of the transfer window deadline. So expect that, especially with Sancho, with all the rambling, because it's a marquee signing, same as Maguire. The same theme almost is repeating itself, like with Maguire and Bruno Fernandes. I talked this in my previous video. United ready to walk away. United don't want to budge with their valuation. So the selling club must reduce their valuation price and their fee. So same thing has been reported with Sancho. So we'll see what happens. But on Thiago, nothing much changes. Just I think United are playing like I mentioned yesterday. They are trying to play hardball and try to get a low ball offer near the deadline and sort of like force Bayern to accept. But again, this all depends on whether Thiago wanted to come. We'll see what happens with Liverpool. So apparently Wijnaldum will stay, so that might make a bit harder for Liverpool to bid, or we never know. But in fact, maybe Liverpool is trying to to practice the same strategy as us, waiting until the end, almost the end of the deadline, and forcing Bayern hands to sell with a low price. So that's on the incomings. For outgoing, Smalling deal apparently has stalled, according to Sky Sport. And Fabrizio Romano has said that Roma have moved on to another target, and they might be close getting that target because United has rejected Roma's latest offer. So I think this is quite good for United, not accepting low price for their players, because we're always getting screwed when it comes to we buying players. People always, selling club always demand a high price from us. So now I think it's quite right for us to demand a fair price for our players if they want to buy. So if Smalling were to stay, I wouldn't have too much problem with that, at least for this year. So we'll see what happens, because I think Smalling is, since his performance in Roma, I think he's quite in high demand. I know he prefers Roma because he already spent a year loan there, a season long loan there. But I think he's still useful. I think he still have values. I think clubs like other Premier League clubs, like Newcastle, maybe West Ham, might be interested with him. So I do think he still have value. So we need to stick with our guns, in being firm in our valuation. You don't want to get, let's say, we always get screwed when we buy players, so we don't want to get screwed again when we're going to sell our players. So I think it's good for United to maintain that firmness since of the price. Okay, that's all on transfers. I'm going to talk a bit on apparently there's a Sergio Amara, who is apparently ex-United scout, who used to work for United as a scout. He shared in his tweet that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is really furious because of the lack of signing, or the lack of activities, or the swiftness of getting his targets in. So I'm going to read his tweet for you. Okay, Solskjaer is furious over the lack of signings. Before the window started, Ole told Woodward that United must do their business fast and expect all signings to be done before training starts. But training has started, and we already have Van der Beek. He was very adamant about this, since this is the shortest preseason ever. Ole has spoken to Woodward again. He have made it clear to Woodward that United will not compete with Liverpool, City and Chelsea this season with the current squad. I think we can all agree with that. Ole is stunned over the lack of ambition and was very direct in conversation with Ed Woodward. He hopes that this conversation will speed up the process and United can bring in Sancho, Reguilon fast if spending is approved. So who approved the spending? Well, we all know. The Glazers. I'm going to talk a bit about Glazers after this. All aspects of both deals are agreed. Just the medical. So United just need to pay the money. So this is very good insight with regards to the transfer. So basically what Amara is saying, that Reguilon and Sancho, both, all aspect of the deal has been agreed. I think we all know that, like I said, on Sancho, personal terms has been agreed, agents fees, whatever has been agreed. Only that United don't want to pay the fee. So this is quite interesting. A good insight for us to know. I think we all are, annoyed. We all are furious with the lack of activities, with the inefficiency of net in transfer market, and well, rightly so. Our manager is feeling the same. I think more so for our manager. He must be annoyed, very annoyed. He doesn't get yet what he wants. Because we want to compete. So this shows totally lack of ambition. I think Ole stated very clear that this shows total lack of ambition from the board in giving Ole the tools that he needs to compete with the likes of to close the gap at least with Liverpool and City. And in Chelsea, especially when considering what Chelsea has done, right? Okay, since I'm talking about that, I'm gonna talk about Glazers as well. The Glazeronomics, the effect that Glazers had with regards to the our financial. So if you look this Swiss Ramble Twitter account make a very good compilation of Premier League clubs finances. I want to show you guys, because I talked about Chelsea just now, how good they are in this current transfer market with the players that they spend. You can see this is the funding from the owner. I hope you guys can see that. This is Chelsea leads the way with 440 million pound from owner financing. This is the money that the owner puts in the club. If you can see here, Chelsea leads the way, no surprise. But look at down below. Manchester United, negative 89. Instead of getting money from owner, we have to pay them 89 million in dividends. So I think that just tells you the whole story with regards what is the effects of Glazers to the club financial. So I'm gonna show you guys as a summary of how much we have paid the Glazers, within this 5 or 10 years or so. So these are all the Premier clubs finances, which is a very good compilation, a very good insight actually. So even City have owners of 142 million shares in capital in the last 5 years. Man City. So United, if you can see here, United have paid 209 million pound in the last 5 years to fund the Glazers ownership structure, which is 122 million in interest and 89 million in dividends. In fact, in the last 10 years, they have spent an extraordinary 838 million on financing the 488 million interest, and 251 million debt repayments and 99 million dividends. Look out for 140 million loan since year end. So basically, I think you all know, when the Glazers want to take over United, they have to make loans from the bank to have enough capital to purchase United. And because of that, we are suffering with the debts and the dividends payment to the bank financial institution because of Glazers. So I think this is what all clubs, all the fans of United are getting really pissed off and furious. Hashtag Glazers out again. And this does show in our transfer activities. If you see that owners putting money with the club, owner with ambition, owners that really care about the club, that purchase the club or take over the club because they want the club to be successful, like Abramovich, like Sheikh Mansour. These people really genuinely wants the club to be successful, and they purchase the club to make the club successful instead of making money from the club. And this is totally opposite what happens with our owner. So that is very sad, and this is a big issue that looming over us in the last 10 years or so. I think even during Sir Alex time, but we are lucky we have Sir Alex during that time, which we can still be successful. So I hope that shares some insight of you guys how bad it is, our club in terms of financial. When it comes to Glazer, we're still making money. At Woodward at least has made a really good work in terms of the commercial wise, getting sponsors and whatnot. But most of that money has to go back to the Glazers because of the financial, because of the debt, because of the interest payment that they have to service to the financial institution. Okay, so that's all I have for this video today. Again, if you like the content, please like the video and please subscribe if you haven't done so, and click the bell button to get updated with our latest content. Again, no good news on Sancho front, but we might have our second sign of season very, very soon. Let's wait till the end of the day what's going to happen. I'm gonna update you guys if there's any breaking news. I'm gonna update straight away if there's any breaking news. Okay. Again, thank you for viewing. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.